Welcome, guys, to modern naval warfare. This is a bit of a misnomer, actually. It actually really is just modern submarine warfare is really what it's about. So anyway, we'll let the game load, and then we'll get into it. So it's, but it could be all sorts of different things eventually. And I'll talk about this in a little bit as we get into it. This is not for the faint-hearted. It's a very, very interesting game. Very cool, actually, the way it does work. So I'll sort of step my way through it. I am really, really bad at this, so just putting that out there. I'll try to explain, because I've had a lot of issues with my own learning of trying to play the game, and I still haven't been able to complete a single mission yet. But I thought I'd actually do the live stream now and sort of show the game, because it's coming in a week's time, basically. So it'll be coming, and I know that a lot of you will be very, very interested in this game. It is an amazing game. Like, it's amazing. Well, it's not even a game. It really is a full-blown simulation, and it's a simulation of a Virginia-class submarine. So you are basically you're not going from ship to ship. You're not doing anything else like that. Reminds me very, very much of Carrier Command. If you've played that Microprose game, this is sort of, it feels very, very similar. This was just put together by a couple of brothers, and of course then published by Slytherin Software. So this is Slytherin or Matrix. I think it's Matrix, actually, Matrix Games, which is the sort of the more hardcore sort of simulation / war game aspect of Slytherin games. So anyway, we'll just get into it. So I've created like a character here. Rank ensign, basically got nothing, no service record, no medals or achievements. So really don't know, very, very, that's all we've got at this point in time. So what I can do is commission is to then sort of go and load in the next person in the game. The game will change a lot, I think, it's going to be going into early access, which I think is a good move. It will then be up to you guys, if you do sort of get the game, to help the dev sort of shape it where it actually wants to go. So it's a very, very cool system, but it is hard to understand, because it sort of almost expects you to have like a fairly in-depth knowledge of how submarines work and how the components within a submarine work, and that's not me. So anyway, hi Sapior and Mike Gillespie saying, one I haven't heard of. Yes, no, this is not out yet. And I might even sort of start by, well, I'll just go select. I'll just go and select our characters. This is what we have currently at the moment. Now, there is there's some information that's out there at the moment. I think by the time the game launches, there'll be a more in-depth manual, which I think will be good. But just be aware that the game, like, you quickly pick up what has to happen in the game, but it doesn't help you if you don't have like basic information. And I'll try to explain that as we get into it. You've got things, for example, like a campaign, where the very, very first mission is really, really simple. It's just going up against a single ship, and that ship just happens to be a cargo ship, so it's not going to fight back. And that's probably the best way to actually start to play the game, to be honest, to not go up against ships that are going to be fighting back. I think the scope of the game, you can sort of see that if we do a quick mission, you'll get a bit of a feel for what can happen in the game, to a degree anyway. So if I go into here, and this is probably what we'll end up playing. This is the game is not a string of campaigns. It's sort of, having said that, yes, it is sort of. Like, you've got the actual campaign itself, but it really is just a mission by mission, and very gritty, very sort of like in the middle of, like, you are in the submarine, and you then have to sort of, you're the commander of the submarine, you have to then sort of manage everything to do with that particular submarine. Now, you'll see through here, this is actually the quick mission editor, where you can actually then go and sort of very quickly create like a random map of how you want to then play out a mission. So, and this is really, I guess, the meat and potatoes of the actual game itself. So you've got, for example, at the moment, all we actually have is a 1 versus 1 and a convoy hunt. We don't actually have spec ops or cruise strike yet, so they'll be coming. I'm not sure when. Maybe at launch. I'm not sure. I know there's going to be a lot more things coming at launch. This, I should point out, this version I've got is. It's not even going to be the release version for next week. So this is actually just a bit of a snapshot, look at what we've got, what we can play. So convoy hunt is what we'll end up doing. So just so that the things don't fight back, and you can see that there's got like 3 ships over here. If I go 1 versus 1, I've then got like a different types of enemies that can then sort of come in. In this case, we've got like, for example, a frigate, like an anti-submarine frigate. We're always a submarine. So even though it says modern naval warfare, it really is modern Virginia-class submarine warfare. Just to put that out there. I think a better name would have been modern submarine warfare, would have actually been more realistic for what it is. But I think that the devs are thinking that if people want to end up being in command of frigates or whatever else it might be, that they may sort of be able to then build that into the game over the course of its actual early access development. So I think that the scope of the game is really, really quite broad, which is quite exciting. So you've got like frigates, you've got nuclear submarines back in through here as well. Why aren't you picking that one? Hang on, it's not letting me pick them for some reason. I can pick a random. But there is actually, so in through here, again, I'm not going to be playing these because I'm not going to be able to win against anything at this stage because of my lack of skills. But you do have, you've got a nuclear submarine in through here, the enemy type. And again, this is an early build that we actually have. And then you've got like a diesel submarine, which is like an anti-submarine submarine. So you've got like a sort of like a lower quality submarine that you'd then be going up against, but it still will be it's an anti-sub hunter. Whereas playing as the Virginia class, we're playing as a nuclear submarine, which has sort of got like the ability to be able to you can see they're doing shooting at cruise missiles or whatever else it might actually be that the submarine is supposed to get up to. Now, the vertical position that we actually have as well, when we sort of set this one up, we can either go from surface to shallow depth, which essentially is periscope depth, deep, or just randomized. So you can sort of have like randomized sort of setups in through here. Distance to the enemy. This is again, like you've got close, far, where they go further away. Sorry, far isn't. Actually, when it's like this, these aren't available yet, I guess, is what we're sort of seeing through there. So it can either be close or medium inside these different zones. The other things we actually have is the littorals. This is the mission area. So you've got sort of like the littoral pelagic, which is deeper, and then deep ocean. So where you sort of start. This gives you the depth underneath the sub that you can then sort of operate in. And again, they've done a really interesting. It's very interesting what they've done with this. They're using like real world data for sort of setting these things up. You've got civilian traffic as well. Like you can actually have other cargo ships around the place, which can just be confusing for you, like to try to figure out, where's my target, where's the frigate. You've got all these other sort of contacts that you then have to sort of try to. You've almost got to nut out, what is actually going to happen with where's your target. Can it find you, and sort of how it then works? It's very cat and mouse the way it does work. Very, very cool what they've done, I've got to say. Like, very cool. That's why I'm sort of, in one sense, I'm a bit disappointed in myself that I don't know enough information to be able to really sort of go into the nuts and bolts. But I'll try to just go through. But I thought it still may be useful if you are sort of in the same boat as me, where you love these sort of games but aren't very good at them. And so I'll try to sort of, we'll nut our way through together anyway. Time of day, you've got like dawn, day, dusk, and night. This affects the visuals. The game is quite a pretty game. Like once you sort of get past the the actual stations that you're sort of then working on, like you then can sort of look at things where this is where it's not realistic, but you can actually then look around and see. So we'll have a look at that as well. And then the weather as well, going from good, fair, and bad. So these are all available at this point in time. So if we're going to be probably doing a convoy hunt, I think, when we sort of get started. So we'll actually end up doing this one here, where I'll just go with a small convoy. So we've got 3 ships that we have to find. We'll also then have, I might leave the civilian traffic on low. Again, this is just going to confuse me. I'll go with a short, like a mission area where we're just in the littoral zone, which is meaning that it's going to be quite shallow underneath the actual sub itself. And again, without actually having a hunter looking for us, we're not going to have to worry about, like the depth is not going to be something where we need to dive to escape. In this case, we are literally going to be just hunting down the enemy cargo ships, the convoy ships. So we've got all those down through there. We also then have back over here the player platform. So I've got 3 different Virginia class subs that I can then go and make use of. So the USS Texas, the USS Mississippi, and the USS Colorado. And these have all got different layouts inside, and they have different equipment. The devs have actually modelled these subs in a lot of detail, and including all sorts of little things, like with the actual each one of them is actually quite different inside with the different sorts of equipment. So it's fascinating what they've done with the game. Let's go with the Colorado just because it's the most recent. Actually, before I do that, what I might do is, because it's so easy to set these things up, let's just go back out. If I press escape. So you've got single missions as well. And so I'll just sort of show you the scope of different things through here. So these are all just convoy hunts. So pelagic convoy, testing grounds. I'm not sure, it gives you, this is a simple testing mission with an enemy to test your weapons and tactics on the area. The area has limited other traffic. So again, it's sort of just setting up like a different area. So you use any means necessary to defend your ship. Lint and SIGINT indicate one enemy combatant. What does that mean? I've got no idea. But I know some of you will, and you'll be thinking, "Oh, cool! It's got it's got this, it's got that." So ROE level is free. Again, no idea what that means. All vessels are considered hostile unless positively identified as neutral or friendly. There's a lot of biologic activity in the area, meaning whales. So there's going to be lots of whales and stuff. So these are sort of like games where it's gone a little bit beyond sort of where that is. Now, we can't select these yet. So these are the actual mission creators. So there will be actually different aspects that will then come into it. Littoral blockade. So this is a interdiction mission in the littorals around a small set of islands. Mission specific. This is a blockade. Again, ELINT and SIGINT. Now this will make sense eventually. The one thing I do like about these games is that you do learn a lot about things when you actually start to play it. So click us in saying, are there lots of submarine officers in chat today? I sort of hope so, because we may end up with people who can actually explain what these things actually are. The game doesn't hold your hand in this at all. Like it sort of expects you to essentially end up being able to nut it out yourself, like and which is good in one way. Like in a lot of ways, there will be more information when the game does launch, but it's at the moment there's not a real lot. Oceanic as well. So again, there's an anti-submarine mission. It says convoy hunt, but this one is actually there's a small group of enemy combatants looking for you. The area has limited other traffic. So these are sort of like different missions you can then sort of go and do, which I guess is a little bit more finesse than just a random mission. Let's just go back out and have a look at the campaign. So campaign start, I'll continue one of the campaigns. And again, these are just going to be a string of different missions. So near pure adversary is supporting several terrorist cells in your area of operations. You are to foil. So this is from dusk till dawn. This is sort of really like just a simple ease into the game type mission. In fact, maybe we do this one. Rules of engagement. There we go. So says Steve. Fat Dax is saying, I really fancy the idea of this, but I'm almost certain it'll be above my IQ. Well, actually, I think that, there we go. It's got ELINT is electronic intelligence, and Viper's saying, yes, SIGINT is signal intelligence. Yeah, rules of engagement. Thanks, guys. There's a lot of this coming up, by the way. There's a lot of... it doesn't hold your hand, and which again is a good thing. And we've got Fat Dax is saying, I really fancy the idea of this, but almost certain it would be above my IQ pay grade. You'll find it's not in the way it sort of does work. It's more about the decisions you make in the sub. You'll eventually, I think, and fairly quickly, intuitively get to know what everything actually is. I'll try to this is why this game is a really special game. Like it's got some amazing stuff in it because it doesn't hold your hand, I guess, is the way it sort of does work. Let's do this one actually. It's from dusk till dawn. Now, this is actually the first part of the campaign. So recent intel reports state that a large amount of military-grade weapons and ammunition were stolen from a warehouse during a NATO exercise. The stolen assets were spotted while being loaded to the bulk carrier Salma H by a HUMINT. Human intelligence, we guess. So again, that's pretty huge. So a spy has seen it. This particular vessel is known to be on the employment of several small terrorist groups. The ship has entered your area of operations a few hours ago. Your mission is to track the ship and either put it out of operation or sink it before it reaches its anchorage and unloads its cargo. Since the ship is operating in sparse but active shipping lanes, take special care to keep the collateral damage to a minimum. Now, I believe that we only have the one ship in this particular one. Hi, Paluco, how are you going? So anyway, let's start the mission. And the game is not a frantic, it can be, I guess, when you're being hunted, but really you've got like a lot of time. It's in real time. You can speed up time a little bit, but overall it's a very realistic simulator, which we'll see as we get into it. There we go. Only two types of ships: submarines and targets. All right, so let's walk around and have a look around the ship. The sub. So what we have is, in this case, we are, and I don't know which class of submarine we're actually on, but this is sort of like the central area of the submarine. Where we see units with camo gear like this, it means that is an AI controlled station. Where we see them just in their blues, these guys are not AI. Like these are just sitting here for sort of just for effect. They're not actually really doing anything. So we've only got one at the start. The only one that we've got at the start is the pilot. So he's actually sort of, I don't know if that's what they're called, but anyway, that's the so he can be given orders about moving the submarine around. So when we sort of see that, now we've got a few different areas as well. There's a lot of different stations on the submarine, and they all have, like, this is all exactly as, like when you look at any of these things, you are seeing exactly, the information. So it's not actually just a random little screen in through here. So we can sort of see what he's up to. Like, for example, it's a bit hard to see it, but he's actually looking at the he's got his screen open, not on the he's not running the ship as such. He's actually looking at the sonar buoys and stuff like that. So that's actually what his screen is, which we'll have a look at. Because every screen, ultimately what the idea of the game will be potentially is, well, I think they want to have like cooperative multiplayer where different people can come in and play each station. So you can imagine each station is not insubstantial. There's actually a lot you can do at every single station. Back over through here, we have all the sonar equipment back in this other side. You find these little views. If I go and click on the view, it gives me status about the ship very, very succinctly. So we've got a course at 50 degrees. Our speed is 5 knots. Our depth is 153. And the BS is not bullshit. It's I think it's base something or other, or it's the area underneath us. Now it's saying 0 because we don't know how deep the water actually is. So all we've got is just basic information at the moment, because we don't have anything we don't have anything deployed to be able to sort of pick things up. So that's that one there. If I just right click, we then sort of come back out. I don't think I can actually do anything in here. Can't click any of these different bits and pieces. But anyway, that's where they are now. You see it's there in feet and knots and stuff like that. That is because the submarines use those measurements. If they bring in other submarines from that aren't Virginia class or aren't US sort of based, that will then be quite different, where they'll end up with a range of it may be metric, for example. So again, each submarine is actually, they've really spent a lot of time researching what they're doing through here. Now, certain aspects in here, I can go to a sonar station there. I've got another sonar station there, pretty much identical with what's going to actually happen. Maybe I'll just quickly show you this, and we can then go through. I can also right-click on these and bring in an active, essentially an AI crew. So we can actually just go and do that. So we'll just go and do that one. And there we go. There's the camo. The camo gear has sort of come back into it. So we've got so that person that AI will now start to monitor the sonar stations, but it's still got another one back over here that I can actually have a bit of a look at. Now, these other displays are all parts of displays that are actually shown inside the sonar station. We'll come back to this in a bit of depth as well. What we're looking for here, and this again is so realistic. What they've actually done with this is you've got all sorts of different views in through here, which again I don't really understand at this point in time. Different displays essentially of what's going on with different tracking, etc. But initially, what you're doing is you're listening for, like, so whoever's operating this particular location is actually looking for blips coming, just like passive. This is like passive radar, but we can actually put out like different types of sonar buoys and things. So we'll end up doing that fairly soon. In fact, what I might do is I might just go and tell like we don't want to have the depth at 153. I want to go to periscope depth. So let's just go and give our guy here an order. So I can actually just scroll down through. I'm just going to tell him to go to depth, and I'm just going to go to periscope depth. And so just go yes.
0, 5, 6, B, pilot I.
So he's now going to be sending, and the ship will then start slowly, or the sub will slowly sort of will slowly rise. Like, so it's actually now, you can see that we're now got a slight angle as the sub starts to come up, and we'll start to see the numbers for the feet, and it takes a long time for it to come up. Like, it's not just an immediate. There's no immediate gratification. Sort of things do sort of kick in. Fire control station. This is for when we actually do find the target, and I will have to probably read about that when we before we go in. You'll find that this information about the view is sort of like in different places. So again, we can sort of see the feet coming up. You'll find these are ballast indicators, I believe, so we can actually have a look and see what these are doing. Or actually might be, I'm not sure what they do, to be honest. The level, that's the level area. You've got like emergency ballast in through here, manual control, to sort of throw the ballast if you need to dive very, very quickly if you're being hunted. And so you can see now we're really, the angle on the ship is as the navigator sort of takes it forward is really quite pronounced. This is essentially just the overall tactical station, where we can sort of see that we're heading in that 50 degrees, sort of heading in that direction. No idea where our target is, so we now need to find the target. So we'll wait until we get to periscope depth, because that's really where all of the different sensors can then sort of come into it as well. Now we can put out, we're only travelling very, very slowly here, but we can put out various other buoys. Like if I go in and talk with this guy again, the pilot station, we've got course, we've got speed, we've got depth, we've got masts. So I can go and click on masks and go to it's got raised mast in through there. Now this is where we can actually just manually do this ourselves. If I sit at this pilot station, I can then sort of see what's been set up. So he has ordered the depth to go to 56 feet. So that's going to be the periscope depth. So he's actually sort of starting to move up through this way here. Now again, I'm not really, you can see there that our pitch is 6 degrees. Our depth is coming up, so we're now under 100 feet. So the heading again is just 50, but I can sort of set up all sorts of different things with the actual running of the sub, in terms of the intraspital locks and the bipple rigging and all this sort of stuff, which I don't know what all that is. We've got rudder, so you can sort of secure them as well. At the moment, it's just going to be auto. This is your engine order, so you can sort of quickly come in and go, okay, look, I want to go, all ahead full. You can go flanking speed or whatever. If you start to go to these fast moves, you're going to then find that they will start to you'll start to cavitate, which means that you'll start to blow bubbles, which means that the ships can then find you and be aware of you. Now, we did actually have a mission briefing. So you can see down through here, as things actually happen, we've got the sonar station manned and ready. So we've actually put that person in there. Pilot made depth for 56 feet. Pilot says aye. And so we start to sort of get like every order we give is then sort of given in this little information down the bottom through here. Just press escape, and there we are. We're back out of the pilot station. Now, actually, sorry, back in here again, there are multiple ways of actually looking at the ship here. So we've got masts. When we have a look at the masts in through here, we have a whole lot of different types of we've got photonics. Now, this is the different escape hatches. Again, I'm not sure. These are the hull openings. These are retractable masks. We've got the different masks in here, and again, you need to know what they are to actually. We've got communication masks. We've got sat nav masks. ESM, not sure what that is, radar, snorkel. So these are all on the ship itself. Now the game has got some pretty nice looking graphics, like in terms of the manuals and stuff. So we can actually have a look at those sorts of things as they come through. We also then have the trim as well, just sort of like with how the like the ballast, the trim pumps, etc., etc. So you got like there's a lot of stuff you can do just in every single station. I'll come back to this one because what we'll do is we'll try to figure out a way of seeing what's going. In fact, what we can do is because we're traveling slowly, I will just go to masts, and we'll send out we've got two different types of towed arrays. So these are like sonars. So we've got thin line towed array, and we've got a fat line towed array. I think these are sort of more, like these are different types of sonar levels. Let's extend this. So we'll just go and do, so this is the thin line towed array is extending. Now again, the game expects you to actually know what that means and what that does. It doesn't hold your hand, like there's no hovering over it and it comes up. And I think it would be helpful if it did actually have tool tips somewhere, like when you do hover over what it does do, just to sort of hold your hand initially while you get used to it. But this is now, it's extending at the moment, and it takes time for the towed array to actually then sort of be extended out. If you travel too fast, this can break, so these can break off, and then you don't actually have any ability. There we go, it's just now extended. I can, after I've extended one, I can extend the other one if I want to, but we don't need that. So let's just go, with that one now done, let's go and see what we can actually now find from our sonar boys. So this one, our AI operator here, I don't think we can actually give specific orders. Report thermal fathometer, no idea what that is. Relieve auto crew. So don't know what fathometer is. Enable. Don't know what that one does. But we can actually have a look to start to see things now in this sonar station. So we now actually have, see how there's a little blip. It's very hard to pick it, but there's like a little, just sort of just off to the left-hand side. See how it's very, very, it's sort of nothing happening, and then there's just a tiny little measurement there. And if I go and the actual towed towed sonar array that we actually put out is this TB29A. So let's go and throw this one up into here. And now we start to sort of see, this is actually now I'm not sure exactly what that is there. This is us, I think. I think that's it there. I think that's sort of showing, I think that's our direction. We're traveling at 50. And I think we see both of these different areas back over this other side. I think it's the one. If I go to TB, I think that's the fat one, yeah, which isn't deployed. WAA, no idea what that is. So again, it would be so cool to know what these actually all mean, but I don't know what they mean. But that is the one we just deployed. So we can now start to sort of see, and we can see it sort of now just moving. If I go and click on that one through there, I then have a bit of a tracker on, so the bearing of 68 is sort of showing me where that is. If I put tracker on, does that do anything? Not really. Again, I don't know what I'm doing, guys. Now, a few other little things. Most stations will give you a bit of feedback as to how silent you're going. And so we got again, we're heading at heading 50, speed 0.5, and depth of 53. So this is actually sort of what's happening back into here. As we start to cavitate, these will then go up from to amber to red. And so as we sort of start to be seen. Now that's interesting. It stopped. I don't know why. Don't know why that stopped. But anyway, there's a lot of information again that you can sort of see with these different with the different stations. Now I don't know what that does as well. This is the blipping. It's funny. That's sort of, it's hard to tell what that actually is doing. Yeah, I'm not sure actually. Maybe that's it there. Yeah, I've got no idea. So wide angle array says PyDay. Thank you for that one. Fathometer tells you how far the bottom is. Oh, okay. So maybe we actually now know. So if we go back out and have a look at, yeah, there we go. Got heaps of feet. There we go. So so that's we've now got 869 feet underneath us. So let's go and get the automatic crewman to start to try to give information. Report thermal. Try that one. All right, so how are we going with our depth? So our depth is coming up to 54 feet. So we're now at periscope depth. Now and again, I'm not very good at reading these, but I'm thinking it's sort of like 64. A bearing of 64 is going to be sort of where the target might be. We can now start to sort of see if that's been reported back in here at the station, and just see if there's anything at this stage. Nope, nothing yet. And again, I don't know what I'm doing with this, so just bear with me with the as I sort of try to nut my way through this particular one. There's other stations as well. Like there's actually, if I press escape, and press escape again, this is actually all of the I guess the gaming sort of side of things in the game itself. You've got 10 stations. At the moment, we're just walking around the ship. Maybe I'll just talk a little bit about what we actually have through here, because there's no rush to do this mission. So this is us just walking around, so we can just go from station to station. This is the navigator station, and again, tooltips would be fairly handy, so it can just take me straight there. Then we've got this is the target station, I believe. Oh no, that's different again. Sorry, this is the where we can actually go and look around. So if I go and actually click on this one, I think this is periscope. If I go to photonics, this is actually where we can start to sort of see different things. Raise the mast. So we're now at periscope depth, and we'll just raise it, and we'll have a look around and see what we can see. So at the moment, we're seeing sort of blackness. Is it going to come up? And again, I don't know what all these different things do. It should be... Don't know why that's not showing what we're doing here. So this is actually this is back to where we were looking before. Time bearing plot. Again, we've no idea what we're doing there. I think that's the target potentially. This is again a bit of a sonar. Look at the sonar. There's that little bit of a blip there. Come on, why isn't that not working? Not sure what's happening there. Yes, I'm unsure as to what I'm doing here. I knew this was going to be one of these sort of frustrating aspects to it. This is actually where you can then go and pick up the tutorial stuff and things like this. If I go to tutorials, it then takes me out to where the game, like there's different things into here. So that's a whole lot of different videos about how to play the game. To be honest, it's actually a bit difficult to understand, to be honest. If I go to database is where we can then sort of start to see the various like at the moment this isn't really all that sort of fleshed out, but there are sort of like photos. If there's photos, sensor returns, which will then allow you to sort of start to analyze the various aspects of the different sorts of craft that you're going to be coming up against. There's a whole heap of stuff in through here. There's different aircraft in that as well. So a lot of these don't actually have the detail in it just yet. But this is going to be very, very useful and interesting, I guess, over time. Anyway, we'll just get out of there. Database documents again. We've gone there. Not sure why we can't look through the periscope. I've got no idea why that's not working. It actually, like when I sort of saw the presentation about it, it looks brilliant. Like it's really, really cool. Like you've got sort of like the visual source again, thermals. You can sort of do thermal stuff, but for whatever reason, mode. No idea what that is. Capture review, search analysis. Oh, there we go. What was that? Oh, okay, we've got two of them. Had to turn one on. So this is the periscope, and I can then start to sort of look around. What's that there? That's the actual landmass as we're sort of looking across. Now we were looking at 60 bearing of 60-ish. So it should be right in front of us, the actual the target. Now I can actually go and zoom in. Not sure what these do. Again, I really don't know what I'm doing here. And we'll just sort of see if we can sort of just tweak what's going on here. See if we can sort of spot it. It's probably too far away for us to actually get a visual on it. So it's somewhere out there, the actual target. So we think it's sort of somewhere in this region. So anyway, that's the periscope. Let's bring the periscope down. Oh, that's there we go. It was the first one that we had to then sort of go and do. I'll just go and bring it. Okay, that's the information. So there we go. We'll lower the mast. So we'll just bring this periscope down. So it's now underwater, and we'll just sort of like essentially we won't raise the mast just yet. So anyway, that's where we are at this point in time. I'll just go and get that so that it actually ends up being back to the default. So it's pretty cool the way that things actually sort of then go and do and work with it within the actual game itself. Other things we actually have, if we go back into here, so this is the essentially that's periscope. This is the same sort of deal again as well. Just having again a look at the once the mast is then raised. Again, you sort of got to know when you're coming into this station, what are you doing? You need to get the mast information. You need to raise the mast, raise it up out of the water, and then actually have a look through it to be able to do it. So I'm going to be stumbling around a little bit as I sort of go and do these things. So I'll leave that one there. They've then got this I think is Sonar again. So yeah, we're back with Sonar, just trying to sort of first plot what's happening with the Sonar. Not sure why we're not getting the. We're still getting a bit of a target there, but we're not really sort of picking it up much at all. Other ones we actually then have is this is the targeting control, which again we can see that there's the blip. S1 is the blip, so we can sort of end up with targeting, but again I'm not exactly sure what I'm doing here, so I will actually come back and we'll talk about that when we've actually got our target sort of designated. We'll have to learn how to do that one. This one here is again just looking at the overview as to what's happening. We still don't know where this enemy ship is. We haven't located it. So that was, then we've got, this is the radar mast. And again, I would need to raise these different masts to be able to then make use of them. So we will actually, I think we will use this one. How do we do that? Mast raise. So we'll go and do that one and just see if we can actually, so radar standby. Not sure what it's doing. So radar is on standby. Transmit, there we go. I think we're seeing like little clouds and things back over through here. What's LP? No idea. Auto. Should be off here somewhere. Just leave it where that is. Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm doing there. Anyway. Oh, track target. Yeah, we don't actually have a target yet. So we'll I'll just leave that one there where that is at this stage. So we do actually have mast raise. Yeah, is up already. So again, I am lost with this, to be honest. This one here is like a different station. This is actually no idea what this station. Oh, this is threats. This one's interesting because what we can use with civilian ships is, I did sort of see a thing about how we can use AIS data. So we can actually go up and use this one to start to sort of then try to find AIS information. And if I raise the AIS mast up, it should give us information about any of the civilian ships. There we go. So it's now picked up the Selma H because it's got to use the AIS data. So if I go and click on this ship, I then get the information through here, so I can now start to track it. So this is actually the easiest way for me to actually get control. So it is actually pretty much just off from the side of where we actually are. And so it's got it's got so much detailed information in this. It's actually very, very cool. So we'll now put a track on it, which means that we now actually have the track on this particular ship. And we can now see sort of how far it's going. So we see it's sort of traveling towards the north and traveling a lot faster than what we are. So we need to essentially now catch up with it. We don't need to use the sonar anymore because we can just use the AIS information. So I'm just going to go back out of that station. This is actually, this station, by the way, is in here. So the ESM, again, I don't know what an ESM station is. We've got 2 of them. I can man that with an auto crew as well. There you go. So he's in his camo gear. So that way he will be able to then give me information as well. All right, so we need to now start to hunt this one down. So if we start to now have a bit of a look and see what's going on in through here. That's interesting. We've got another contact down this way as well. So there must be. Oh, this is another thing too. Sorry. If I go back into here, there's actually beyond all of these other bits and pieces. Actually, what's this last one? We haven't looked at this one here. Oh, this is actually the information where we can actually extend the communications and SATCOM masts. There's heaps of masts on this thing, by the way, and then get messages coming back in from the from command. So we actually have this is like the communication station. If I go back into here, this one actually shows me the various things around outside. So I can start to sort of see this is us, and we're just, if I go underneath the water here, I think I can just, yeah, that's us there. So I can rotate, I think, around, forget how to do it, there we are. So that's us with the 1 mast up. So we've got 1 mast up there at the moment. So that's us at this point. But the game also, this is where it does break the simulation. It does show you other things around the place. So if I go to the next one across, it's got whales and that's possibly one of the other blips that we sort of saw on the radar screen was a whale, another whale. So we've got 2 whales. That's the target, I believe. So there should only be the 1 target. And then when we cycle back through, we should then end up back with the with our sub again. No, another whale. That's another one again. Hang on. Oh, it's just going between those 3. It's not actually. This is us. So if I go 1, 2, target. Yeah. So that's all it actually is. If I go back, start with us again. Should go straight whale. Target, yeah. So all we have is the 1 target. So it actually has found some whales as well, sort of with the sonar. So the sonar readings are picking those up. Now, again, you can imagine if you're sort of playing one where you're actually trying to sort of deal with a threat that's coming at you. Like you will sort of get misleading information coming back in. It doesn't tell us exactly where this is. I can actually go and put on the HUD. So we can sort of see, what it's doing, and so we get information again, breaks the simulation a little bit, but it's fairly handy to sort of have it. This one does show you things in meters, so you do actually have the metric as well as the imperial. And then we have things like night vision. If we are sort of at night time, we can start to sort of see different things. If we go to night vision and then go underwater, like if we go back to our ship and have a look around, we sort of get like thermal imaging for underwater stuff. And if we go back to the whales, that's the whales with the thermal imaging. It's a cool game. God, it's got a lot in it. And then we've got this thing as well. But we don't need. It's actually daylight. So so the sun is probably just coming up. I would think. Anyway, that's sort of where we are. Yeah. So we don't get a real lot of information, but we now know where this ship actually is. Now we can see this anyway, like all the different targets when we do go into it. I think this just cycles around it into different areas. Does that? Yeah, that's a free look, and then this is lock-in look. Again, just to sort of have a bit of a look, I can just sort of zoom in on this particular ship. That's a ship we have to destroy. So we now need to hunt it down. And so this is actually, I guess, really really what the game is largely about. Find your target, which we have eventually done. So Zaradin's saying those whales look a bit sus. Actually, I'll just read through the comments and just see what I've missed. So Fat Dax is saying bit of depth. I see what you did there. Yes, no, it's sort of. I was going to title it "Out of My Depth." It was going to be what I was going to call this video because I really am out of my depth with this. Hi, Impaluco. It's hi, UV4. So Viren Games is saying, so you can put AI in all stations, just command a sub. Pretty much. I mean, it's one of those things where you can do certain things with them, but eventually it'll be where you can actually have other people in the sub with you playing cooperatively. So that's why it reminds me a lot of Carrier Command. Now, Carrier Command is much more of a arcade type game. This is much more realistic. So Stabby Stab Happy saying, I wonder what sales figures they anticipate and what's the target group is. I'm not sure. Like, the game feels to me to be built for people who are interested in subs and who maybe know a fair bit about it. But it's one of those things. Again, I like these sort of games because I learn a lot. Like, for me, it's like an education, even though it can be frustrating to try to figure out what's going on. But it is. I think that they will make it more accessible. Like, it's just that I'm using a version where they've been beta testing it, and so you can imagine the people beta testing a game like this they're going to know what they're doing. They're not newbies like me. So this is why I think the information, they still need to sort of put the information into the game. But it's not a game where everything's frantic. Like, we're going to be able to make decisions. We don't have to rush to make the decisions. So Blackburn the First is saying holding hands and explaining stuff are not the same. Yes, I should show you actually the where they currently are with their information. They've got some really, really good information, and so the actual documentation is actually fairly good. In fact, if I Alt Tab out, I think I can do that. Just see if I can do it. Nope, doesn't want me to. Oh, there we go. I've loaded in. This is actually I've loaded in the control guide, where it just goes through the different stations. So walk mode, pilot helm, command station there, navigation, and ECDIS station. Again, I don't know what that stands for. Sonar, scope and photronic station. That's when we had a look at the periscope eventually. The ESM station, again, I don't know what that is. Radar station. It doesn't go enough in detail of what each station does do. Fire and weapon control and radio station. As we go down through them, it sort of does go through just the basic. This is just the basic controls, going through the bits and pieces. This is what we're looking at right now. So the control guide with different filters, etc. So you can sort of see how things actually do work. All of your weapons are also part of that. If there's any aircraft flying around, that's also part of it. So there's a lot going on. This is the system menu, which we're not really using at this point in time. Control guide. This is actually, this is the log palette, just giving us the feedback, which is the bottom corner here. And then we can do time control, etc. Back in through here. We have a countdown timer as well. This is if we're sort of going to be launching different weaponry, we then actually have that in through there as well. So this is just a bit of a summary as to the basic controls within the game itself. This is the manual as it currently stands, which will be decked out. So there is sort of like more information in here, and it's sort of, this is very minimalistic. This is actually worth looking at, because this is this is what we've been playing with. These are all of the various masks that you can then sort of go and pop up. So you've got periscopes, radar, communications, ESM, ECM, no idea what that is, and then snorkel in through that side. So we've sort of seen these as we've been walking around the ship as to where they actually are. So there's a whole lot of different stuff. And again, this is each of the actual submarines have got their own sort of layout with things. Ship performance, again, it manages, it does all sorts of different things that are very, very realistic. So again, if you are into realism, you're going to find this game just phenomenal. You can turn on and off different realism factors as well in the actual game itself. This is the basic symbology, so you can sort of see the various symbols that will then sort of show up on the actual on the display. So air, surface, subsurface, torpedo, decoy. So you've got all these different sorts of indicators. Now we should be seeing, it should be hostile surface. That's what we should be seeing on the screen for when we go back and have another look. Yep, so I'm not sure what all these actually are. NTDS, again, it uses a lot of acronyms, which I've got no idea what they mean. ELF, I know what ELFs are. No, I don't really, not in this sort of context. So this is like the communications, where it's got the different types of antennas, what sort of bands that they're using, etc. Communication codes. Oh, there we go. ELF, I'm not sure what ELF is. So these are the sorts of things that will then come back through. ELF, receive data worldwide. Yeah, okay, blah, blah, blah. Not sure how that one does work. Ship controls back into here. So again, we've sort of had a bit of a look at the station through there, surfacing the ship, surface the ship in an emergency. Depth control, sensors back down this way as well. And again, this is from the presentation that I saw. This was so in depth. That's the stuff you can actually do with these tracking sonar targets. Like, it's very, 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 very detailed. Like, incredibly detailed, more detailed than any other game I've ever seen in that sort of sense. Anyways, there's heaps and heaps of stuff. So this is the AIS contacts, which is what we just set up. So we've actually now got what we need. Anyway, let's go back to the game, and we'll just get rid of that one. Just press escape, and just hang on. How do we go back? There we are. So we have a bit of a look and see what we're doing, what's happening in through this other side. There we go. So it's got that red diamond, and so that is the target. So we need to go and intercept it. We need to get closer to it. It's basically 20,000 yards away, and it's traveling a lot faster than what we are. So that's sort of an indicator of how fast it's actually going. Now I can change the prediction. In 60 minutes, we're going to be here, and they're going to be way up over here. They're going to be further away. So we need to try to make an interception course back up this other side. Now I can go, and I think I can use this in through here to plot a course. So in this case, I'm just going to go and say, okay, look, I want to go that way. Actually, that's not going to be it, is it? No, that's not it. Hang on, let me do that again. And so I'll try to plot a course in this direction. So that's 9 degrees, so 10 degrees basically. So let's go and give the order to start to travel quickly at 10 degrees. So we'll just go back out from here, go across to our pilot, our trusty pilot through here, and get you to start to do different things. So the course, set course, and we'll just go and make this one at 10 degrees. God, it's a bit finicky. Just do it this way. Hang on.
Set course 010 pilot I.
And we've got the yep. So this is actually how we can then go and do different things. We just go back out. We've got the speed, the masts. If I go to mast, retract all masts. So we'll just go and do that as well.
Pilot I.
So what's going to happen there if we go back into this pilot station? Look at the masts. It's now extended, but he should retract it. In fact, he hasn't done it yet. So I'll just start the retracting of that particular, just because we're going to get the speed up now. And let's go full steam ahead. So we'll just manage this one ourselves, and then we'll just come back out again. So we've got the pilot station there. If we go back into this one now, you can sort of see through here. At full speed, we're going to be. We're now starting to. This is like as we come back around, and so in 60 minutes, we're going to be pretty much ahead of this particular one. As the ship comes around, or as the sub comes around, actually, we don't need to go that fast, do we? Actually, we probably do. Let's just go and cut the distance. You can see the actual ship itself. I'll just get rid of that. So we should catch up with this one to be fairly close to it in about half an hour's time. But we can speed up time to sort of start to now sort of make sense of this. So we're traveling. Now, one thing we can have a look at is most of the screens, not this one here, most of the screens, because we're now traveling at full, if I go to view, will that show it? No. Sonar. Pretty sure. Yeah, see, this is now the cavitations. We're going to start to cavitate as we sort of come back through here. We no longer really need the sonar array with what's actually happening through here. This is actually the ship that we're targeting that was using that particular. See how we've turned this, we've retracted this one now, and we no longer have information coming back from this particular mast, this particular sonar buoy. So we were tracking that ship through there over the course of just mucking around with what we were doing, but we no longer have access to that, so it's no longer going to do it. So we can just go back to just sort of trying to listen. This is us changing course, I believe, with where we actually were. That's the target. I think when we have a look at it there, is I think that's the target that we have. This is our course. If I go tracker, I'm not sure what that one does. Yeah, I'm not sure how this actually works. Anyway, again, I don't know how to use this. It's just, I find it very cool. One thing you can also then go and do, one thing that they did show us, is if you're finding it just a bit too bright, you can go to anywhere where there's some different things where there's, we've got display, we've got view. There is another thing, I think it was over here, main circuit. If you find the main circuit, you can then go into things like lights, go to presets, and actually sort of then go and change the actual light presets, which will then turn off different lights to give you like a different sort of mood. You can turn them all off, and then sort of have it so that it's much more dark, like in the actual sub itself. So maybe we'll just, actually I won't do that, it's a bit too dark. We'll just use one of the presets. Again, there's just lots and lots of stuff in this game. It doesn't really tell you much about what's going on. There we go. Got a bit more lighting in the actual sub itself. All right, so we're still just sort of thumping along. Now let's speed up time. So we can sort of just go back into here. I'll go down to the time controls and just speed up. Come on, why is that not wanting to go? That's doing that. Not sure what that does either. I know that there's, oh there we go, you've got to use the scroll wheel. So we can go a lot faster. So let's just actually have a look at this until we actually get close to the ship. So depending on how, as soon as I give an order, it's going to then just go back to single speed. How fast can it? 16 times. That's pretty fast. Again, the more ships you have, the less you can actually then go and do. So just close the gap. So we should see the distance should actually sort of start to close in. Oh, there we go. So Pido saying ELF is extremely low frequency. Sorry, I keep on missing other comments. Yeah, one angle array. You play. So Stab Happy is saying I played Silent Service 2 in the Amiga 500. This is different. This is very, very realistic and detailed. You need to raise the radar mast. I think we did do that one. In fact, I don't think it's going to break or anything. Anyway, we'll see how we go. So ESM, electronic support measures, used to sample the electronic environment, radar comms, etc. There we go. Thanks for that. Yeah, the whales look a bit sus. So Fat Dax says, I remember keyboard overlay. It does need that sort of stuff. It does need some key that you can actually then just go and place on it. You can see that we're sort of closing the gap now with the with this particular vessel with A1 with our target. Oops, hang on. Let's go 8 times. Oh, that just brings it down, okay. Okay, so it says, you see there on the messaging on the bottom left, it says insufficient system resources for being able to do it. Let's just try this one. Try 6 times. I believe the game sort of struggles a little bit depending on what's actually happening in the game. Now we can try different sorts of weaponry to sort of try to bring this thing to heal. All we have to do is damage it for the actual mission to be a success. So Smudge is saying looking forward to this one, and B5 Fan is then saying we should had 688s. Again, I'm not sure. I'm myself. I'm not all that familiar with what goes on. We've actually now caught up with it largely, so it's travelling at about half our speed. And again, if we wanted to have a bit of a look to see what's going on, if I press escape, we're still travelling at 6 times speed, and I can't move actually when I'm travelling at this time compression. We're now sort of level with it. We'll just get ahead of it. So we'll just keep it sort of thumping along. Now we do have messages coming in. Yep, insufficient system resources. It's okay. So we've now caught up ahead of it. Not sure if we, and again, I'm not sure how to set up the game to be able to fire torpedoes and stuff like that. We'll have to probably look at that one just to sort of see what the one thing about the manual, it does give you just step by step how to do different things, which is actually good. We're now ahead of it. Let's go back to single speed and let's change everything else around now. So let's go and start to get in front of this thing. Okay, pilot, change your course to probably around about, say, 60. There you go.
Course 058, pilot I.
Good on you. Good on you. All right, so we're now we're going to start to move across. Let's just close this gap. I don't know what that VDS is. I thought that was their distance to us. What's it saying there? 6 nautical miles? Yeah, 6 nautical miles there, total distance. And again, I'm not sure again what the deal is with the various bits and pieces in terms of the weaponry, like what that one does do. In fact, what I might do is I might just go back down to half speed as we sort of close this gap, and then we can have a bit of a look to see what information there is about that. If I just go back and just tell our trusty navigator here, go to speed, set knots. Actually, I don't know what the knots are, so I'll just do it manually. Go to 2/3 speed. So that will then sort of get us a bit more sort of silent running, but we have now sort of caught up with that. What's up there now? I can't see what that says. Oh, there we go. Oh, yep, the status overview. Yep, that was just giving us the time compression information. So the information's all over the place, the different sorts of things you can then go and do. So this is tube status. So this is actually telling us what's going on in terms of being able to sort of see the different loadouts that we actually have. So we've got tube 1, 2, 3, 4 with Mark 48s and Harpoon missiles. So we've got a couple of those already sort of loaded in. This I think is the station for that. We didn't put a fire control person in there, but we can if we wanted to. I think I'll keep one just so we can try to figure that one out ourselves. Our speed is, we're travelling at about 12 knots, 11 or 12 knots, so not super fast. This is actually now where we're coming in. So we are sort of, now we've got another contact, S2. That'll be another whale. So there's a whale right where we want to sort of end up catching up with this particular one. I'm not sure what this, it says yards. Maybe it's just because we haven't actually gone and had a good look at this one just yet. So look at the what was it? ESM was electronic support measures. So we've got different information in here. Now it says the Salma H there. Let's raise the mast again. So the mast will be being raised. There we go. So we've got the information. Oh, it's actually ahead of us. So that was actually the old information that we had. So we're actually slightly behind it. Let's get the mast back down again. So we've got new information. It's only 10,000 yards away. Let's try to hit it with a missile if we can figure this one out. I might change our direction just so that we're actually going sort of a bit more, maybe 30 degrees or something. So set course. Just do it around about, say, 30 degrees.
Set course 025 pilot I.
All right. Now we have to figure out how to use the targeting. So I'm going to go and so we're traveling at we're sort of matching we're sort of slowly closing the gap, but nothing sort of too much. Let's go and have another look at the information. So this is this was the tracking fire control. This is what we want. So this page intentionally left blank so we don't know what we're doing. No, this will be for something. Load a torpedo tube. Go to the fire control station F9. Select weapons at the top selection. Select the tubes page. So it does it steps you through very sort of succinctly as to what's going on. I'll just sort of zoom in on this. It does actually have the information here sort of as well, where we can sort of start to sort of pick our way through. So we'll just go and have a bit of a look at this one here. So go to the fire control station F9. Select weapons at the top selection, rightmost button. Select the tubes page from the second row. On the Virginia class submarines, you have 4 tubes available. 2 and 4 are on the port side, and 1 and 3 are on starboard. Okay, if the tube is already loaded with a weapon, like a harpoon, click on the empty button and wait until it stops flickering blue. It takes several minutes, 5 minutes, for any weapon to be unloaded. Now, we do actually have realism controls where we can actually shorten those times, which is what I've done already. If the tube is empty after you launched a torpedo and you don't need a wire guide update, so select, hang on, this is the torpedo. What else have we got? Yep, so you can load any of the, now, again, the torpedoes, I don't know what the range is on these, but there is, there we go, launching, that's the, launching a Mark 48. Again, I don't know what the range actually is on these. I would assume pretty low. But there is actually another display that they have. If I just go back in, if I go back to this area here, the command station, and then go back to the documents, and go into here, this actually gives me information about, this is the weapons blueprints. I was going to download this. So, does it show, this is the Mark 48. Speeds, depth, range. Okay, 27 nautical miles. So I can actually fire one of these if I wanted to. At the, so let's try that. We also then have what's that one there? This is an SLMM mobile mine. No idea what that is. There's our harpoon. The range on this one is it's going to be longer, I think. So I'm not seeing it there. It's the Tomahawk. This is a cruise missile. Actually, the harpoon is different again, I think. Where does it go? Cruise altitude, speed. Yep, so that's okay. Navigation. It's pretty cool. Like, again, the information they've got in it, and that's the Tomahawk as well. The different type of Tomahawk. These are different weapons that we actually have available to us. Well, let's fire a torpedo and see how that goes, and we'll also fire. We do have a harpoon, but there aren't harpoons. It's the latest submarine launched harpoon version. Okay, however, there's a recorded launch here. Blah blah blah. Just gives a bit of background information there. Was it the harpoon or was it the Tomahawk? Yeah, I'm not sure. Not sure. All right, let's go back to the game. So, and this is the Dawn till Dusk information as well, which just gives us sort of basic information as to what's going on. This is so we've got this is our briefing. I should have probably shown this one at the start. This is again, this is so cool. What actually happens into here? So we've got the satellite map in through. This is again not right. This is just a PDF, but this is what's like the actual ground floor is like the ground is covered as well because it affects sonars. So you've got, so for example, this zone in here, I think is this radiolarian's ooze. So it's sort of got like a muddy bottom, which will then affect the bouncing of the sonar buoys, etc. So it goes into amazing depth. Like this game is just phenomenal. I'll just leave that open. Let's just go back out. And just press escape. So the fire control station. It said to go into here. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Relieve auto crew. I wanted to just go in myself and try to figure this one out. So it said that we need to. I think that's our course as to what we're sort of currently doing. If we go across into here, this is the torpedo tubes. Yeah, so these are the various ones we have. So we've got these are tubes. Hang on, what's going on here? Oh, tube 2 and 4, tube 1 and 3. So we can make ready tube control. Is loaded with what? God, I don't know what I'm doing here. Oh, Mark 48, and we do have a harpoon down in here. We've got a harpoon. So we've got 2 Mark 48s back in through this other side. So if we go and arm this, tube control, no, make ready. There we go. We'll make ready for the actual, for the weapon. Now we do need to have a target. And if we go back across, this again, we can sort of see where we're up, what we're doing here. I forget how to do this. Is that, no, that's not the target. New mission. Delete mission. No, that's not it. We need to somehow set up a new mission. And again, I don't know what I'm doing with this. Again, the game doesn't really, it doesn't hold your hand with this stuff. I mean, once you've done it, you'll know what to do, but I don't know what I'm doing. So what's that? I think I have to set up a mission somewhere else and not here. Make that one ready as well. I'll just get them sort of geared up and ready to fire. Yep, that's okay. We just got that one set up. Where is it? So these are all the different fire control stuff. The fire control station there. I think I have to set it up in here. The target there. Again, I don't know what I'm doing here, guys. I apologise for this. I knew it was going to be a frustrating exercise here. Hi, Mr. Worth. How are you going? Harpoon is an anti-ship missile. Yeah, Tomahawk is land attack. Okay, there we go. So Harpoon is what we want. But how do we do this? I need to set up a mission. It won't be that. I'll have to go back and read it again. That's the launching. Let's just scroll back out again and see if we can find setting up a mission. It's fire control. That's the sensors. Surfacing. Alright, so we've done all that. Just keep on scrolling down. So fire control. Go to the fire control station. On the selection buttons at the top, click on the mission planner, second button from the right to open the page. Under selection on the right, verify that the mission type is ASM. Right, so I think it's this one here. Let's start with a Harpoon anti-ship missile. There we go. Let's try this one here. So we'll just go ahead and go to the fire control station. On the selection buttons at the top, click on the mission planner. So we'll just keep on coming back to this one. It's not the station we want. Mission planner. Again, it doesn't tell you this. Oh, yes, it does. It does. There's information. All right, we have a mission planner. Now, what did it say to do? Now that we're here, under selection on the under selection on the right, verify that the mission type is ASM, which it is. ASM mission. Yep, that's fine. Okay, under plot, select new and enter the altitude and coordinates for the initial waypoint. Plot. Oh, altitude. Okay, so we need to under plot. There we go. Altitude. Not sure what that will be. What would this one be? This will be yeah, okay. The attack mode is going to be pop up. I think that's just the different ways of attacking the ship. Let's do a pop up. Let's make it so that its initial attack is say 50. All right, there we go. The coordinates. Can I do anything there? Nope. Hang on. Let's go back in again. So we've got 50 pop up coordinates. Do I go new? There we go. 150. Okay, so we've got new there. Save. So I'm thinking that's what it does. God, I don't know what I'm doing here. Let's go back and read again. Under plot, select new, enter the altitude. Enter additional waypoints as required and click save. So the waypoints, where are they? How do we do waypoints? Oh, there we go. Hang on, that's still, I'm right clicking which sends it away. So let's just go and do the initial one there. New waypoint. Right, there we go. So we actually now have where we're starting to now sort of head out towards this particular ship. So, so we'll now go and save. This is what I said to do. We're doing it. Mission updated. All right, we're getting there. We're getting there. So select weapons at the top. So initial waypoint. Select weapons at the top selection, rightmost button, and then the tubes page. Select weapons. Which is that one there, I guess. So we have a mission. This is mission 1, I think. Right. So, they're loaded already. What does it say to do? Select weapons at the top selection, rightmost button, and then the tubes page. Yep, which is what we have. So click the make ready button for the tubes loaded with harpoons you intend to launch, which we've done. Done make ready there. Not sure if we have to do both. I'm not sure what that is. All right, we've got 3 there actually. Oh, we'll do all 3. Select the harpoon page again within weapons. All right, assign mission, I'm guessing. Missions. Nope, that's not it. Can't. We have to just do what it tells us to do. Under selection on the right and on the tube, select the tube from step 7 and the mission previously saved on mission and click the assign button. Damn, this is not easy, guys. Harpoon there. I don't have the mission the tubes. Go back to tubes again. Do we need to arm it? Or is it still getting ready? I've got no idea. It says weapon ready there. I can't click on any of those. No idea what I'm up to. Click the Make Ready button for the tubes loaded with harpoons you intend to launch. Select the harpoon page again within Weapons. Under Selection on the right-hand side, select the tube from Step 7 and the mission previously saved on Mission, and click the Assign Mission button. Harpoons. I don't have selection of the tubes. What's going on here? Private Joe saying, you look like me trying to play Shadow Empire. Yeah, Lord Zon saying, I sent you a super chat on YouTube. I forgot it's better to do it that here. Yes. So, thank you, Lord Zon. Yeah, I can see it there. Thank you very much for that one. So Adrian's saying, what is going on? I've got no idea. Oh, you're looking at the Tomahawk tubes. Hang on. No, they're not. It's, go back to tubes. It's harpoon. It's a harpoon tube. That's the one we're looking at. We don't actually have any Tomahawks selected on these tubes. It's loaded. Oh, make ready. Maybe that's it. Okay, so yeah, tube 4, make ready down here. Harpoon. Okay, so we've got the harpoon, make ready there. Let's go and click the make ready button for the tubes loaded with harpoons you intended. Okay, now we can go back to here again. And actually, that's not it. Which one was it? Hang on, it's harpoon here, this button here. And we've now already gone past where we were. So tube 4, okay, assign mission. There we go. It's assigned ASM1. So it's now been assigned. So now we can go back to our instructions under selection of the right and the tubes. Click the assign mission button. Yeah, so we've done that. Okay, so under presets, select the missile attack mode, ham or pop-up, and click the update presets button. Now I'll just leave it the way it is. Return to the tubes page. In sequence, flood the tube, open the door, arm the selected tube, and finally press fire. So let's go and try this. So tubes. So we flood the tube. So the door is now opened. So we're now flooding the tube. It's now flooded. Open the door. Door opened. We're going to arm it. Load out armed. And now we're going to fire it. So let's see what actually happens here. Now, firing limitations active. I'm not sure if that's the speed. What is it? Let's just go down to 5 knots again. And let's go back and have a look and see if we can sort of see anything. Oh, it's night time. Oh no, it's underwater. Oh, it is night time. I'm not seeing anything. Okay, so only seeing those 2 whales again. All right, so something has gone wrong yet again, guys. Firing limitations active. Did it fire? Load out disarmed. Let's just go back out again and I'll have to start again, so we can at least see what's going on. Actually, what I can do here is go to night vision. Oh, there it goes. We're away. We're away. So it's now fired. So it did work. And missed. So we missed with the first one. So so that's not all that great. So I'm not sure what happened there. Anyway, let's go and fire another one. So back inside again. Right, make ready. Oh, it's now empty. Weapon ready. I'm not sure what happens here. Let's go and make ready here. This will be tube 3. Flood the tube. Open the door. Actually, we need no mission. So we need to go back to the harpoon missions again. So let's try this one again. We'll go and assign. This is now tube 3. It's been assigned again. So same mission in through this other side. Let's go back to tubes, arm, and fire. So we have to be traveling really slowly to launch these. Whales. There it goes. I love this. God, it looks good. So it's now just going to sort of set itself up. It now glides. There's the target. Find it. Locate the target. This one looks better. Kaboom. Alright, so we've hit the front of the ship. Now apparently the ships are all sort of modelled with all their baffles and all sorts of stuff inside. So the harpoons won't actually damage, they won't destroy the ship, but it will sort of get it so that it's so it will do damage. And that's all we have to do for this mission. Our mission is basically done just by doing that. But let's go and fire a let's see if we can get a torpedo to work as well. So this one is now burning from the front. So we now actually have a hole right on its right on the actual name of the ship there. That's pretty cool as well. I could just even sort of have the little details like the actual names of the ships on what's going on. Lights are still on in that section, which that sort of happened. Let's go and try a torpedo, I guess. And again, I don't know what I'm doing there, so we'll just go back. But I think we can now probably try to nut our way back into what we're actually doing. But you see, it's not a frantic game when you're playing these sorts of aspects of it. Let's go back and have a look to see where we are here. And again, we've got old information that we're sort of that we're looking at in here. So let's go and throw again this one in. This has been our most effective station in terms of trying to update things. So let's raise the mast. Probably keep it up, I think, now. So let's just keep this run raised the whole time. Okay, so and new contact bearing in through that side, so we'll just go in and not seeing it there. Not tracking it. Come on, you should know about it. Yes, data. Again, I don't really know what this is doing. It should be there. Maybe it's turned off the AIS now that it's been attacked. That may be it. Because we're not tracking it through there at all. I'll just leave that one there. And what can you do for me? Nothing. So his job is to just try to keep things sort of going there. I think this is old information now that we actually have. Let's go to radar. Radar mast retracted, so let's go and raise the mast. Again, we just got to wait. Radar standby. And again, I'm not sure what to do here. So transmit on the radar. I know it's very, very close. Again, I'm not sure why we're not seeing it on the radar. Like this one should be, there's no targets there. It's not sinking or anything. And that is the ship there. Yeah, I'm not sure what to do here now. I know that we've fulfilled the mission. Maybe that's all it is. Let's go back to the comms. Yeah, radio station in here. So let's go and how do we do that one there? Antenna control. So we'll raise the comms antenna. So it's now been raised as well. Okay, that's the communication code. So it does give you the information. Not sure what these radios are doing. Raise that one as well. Not sure what they do. Oh, there we go. ESM, new contact bearing 206. It's nothing. I don't think. 206 is a bit, oh, maybe it's in relation to us. .206 is back down this way. So I'm not sure what that's, yeah, that's it down there. Yep, that's 205, 206. All right, we don't have to worry about that one there. So I'm not sure what's how we get out of this one now. So I'm assuming we just end the mission. If I just press escape, I'm pretty sure that's now done. But I'm surprised we didn't get a message. I don't know how far down we can go down here. I don't know what's down this end of the ship. Or the sub. Radio station. I'm not sure what the go is here. No messages received. Put them all on. Yeah, no idea what I'm doing there. Okay, so we'll just get out of here. I'll just press escape and leave. You're about to leave a mission, exit mission. So you do not proceed unless you've concluded all the primary objectives. So we'll just go and exit the mission. So damaged or destroyed the Salma H. No secondary objectives. Damage log. So yep, status operational vessel. Yep, country China. So it's destroyed actually. So we did end up sinking it somehow. I should have kept on watching it. That's anyway, success. There we go. My first success playing this game. All right, so we'll go back and go continue, which will then give me the next mission in the campaign. So that mission is designed to ease you into the game. But as you can sort of see, it's actually not, it's not easy at all. Oh, this one, I think I've only got the one mission in this version of the game at this stage. Well, now that we sort of know what we're doing, so we can actually go in and try one of these quick missions, I guess. So let's see if we can actually do some more damage here. So we'll go with a convoy hunt because that's going to be easier than being hunted by a frigate. Distance to the enemy. I'll go close just so we don't have to go too far away. I'll go with the Texas, which I'm not sure if that was the one that we just used. We'll go literal, so the mission area is going to be sort of low civilian traffic. Let's make it, let's keep it simple at this stage. I can put in other randoms. I'm not sure how we actually designate the exact target. Maybe let's go and do that one. Its time of day will be dawn, so it'll end up sort of coming into the daylight. Weather will be good. So we'll start a random mission. I think that this one, if you start this mission, this is where you end up. If you start a random mission, it can be anywhere. Let's go and do that. Yeah, Pido's saying, I think you need to be an experienced submarine sailor to excel at this game. High learning curve with lots of tutorials. It is one of these things where you need to do things in a certain order to get things to work. It's actually really cool what it does do. Oh, one thing I forgot to show you. Ah, damn it. There was a really, really cool situation where you can actually go and do different things. And what I'll do is, I can't even really sort of do it here. See how this is a different layout? We're in a different sub now. We've got different sorts of bits and pieces. So some of it's sort of close, it's fairly close to where it was, but it's now a different sub. One thing I forgot to do was to show you, and I can sort of show you here, but unfortunately we're not going to get what we ended up having there. If I just go back in and quitting back out again, let's exit the mission. I don't know if I can actually load in one of the other. Just go continue. Let's even load in one of the auto saves that we had. Load. There we go. So we do actually have a few of them. So let's just go and let's debrief. Yeah, let's just go to debriefing. I'll just go and load this one in. Hopefully this will all be saved. This is actually this. I was really impressed with this. So Nikolai Belmont's saying you could be doing much worse, Daz. You could have shot 1,000 tomahawks on your enemy without him surrendering, and you should have explained to your voters why petrol is more than $4 a gallon. There we are. So El Loco is saying you're not firing at a random merchant vessel. No, we only had the one enemy in that particular one. Scrapper's saying, to be fair, Daz lives in a country where petrol is about $7 per gallon. Yes, no, it's very expensive here. Unfortunately, I live in the same one. Yes. All right. So this is actually where we got to the debriefing. So we've already now done the mission. In fact, let's go and have a quick look out and see if we can spot what's going on here again. I'll just put the night vision on. Actually, it's still there, but it's actually considered sunk. So this is us here. I can see the ship right there. So we actually have the ship. I could have now seen that one with the in what was going on. If I put this one, we get the constellations. It'll actually show the constellations in the sky, which is pretty cool. Anyway, we'll just go and step across. Yeah, so it says it was sunk, but anyway, that's what ended up happening. Let's just go and quit out. So exit the mission. Hopefully this will work now that I've brought this load file in. The thing I didn't show was this review. This goes through the whole history of what we did. Like, it was actually, with all the time speeded up, it was like over an hour and a bit. And we got all of the different mission briefings in through here. We've got the different, we've got humpback whales. So we can see now everything that actually happened in this particular one. And as I start to sort of zoom it forward, we can then sort of see the the timeline of what actually happened in through this other side. And unfortunately, because of my screwing around with different bits and pieces, I only really get the last little bit of movement for that one there. But it sort of shows, like, we actually started off down over here somewhere. So we've got the two humpback whales and then the bulk carrier. But it actually gives it, like, depending on how complex the mission actually is, it'll go through and play out the whole mission for you, which is really, really cool. Like, it's really, really nice the way it sort of does work. But in this case, it's sort of just moving that way. But so even this little review system is better than what I've seen in most of these sort of games. Like, it's which is cool. Let's go back to continue. Well, let's go and set up a little mission. And your Private Joe saying in a country where $7 Australian a gallon would be considered a bargain. I guess that's true. I mean, our dollar is worth, what, about 70 cents US, I guess. Set up a quick mission again. Convoy hunt. Small, shallow, close. Actually, we'll do medium. That way we have to find them. We'll leave all those. Start a random mission. So they could be anywhere. Now we have to find them. Now we know that if we're doing this one, we should be able to just go straight to the AIS data. So let's actually now try to use what we've learned to figure these things out. We've got harpoons that we can still start to bring forward. We do actually have torpedoes as well. We may need to learn how to use those. Some ships are designed to sink, others require assistance. There we go. So we now sort of got like the display back and through this other side. Again, we've got like a bit of a different vision of what's going on through this other side and through here. We are traveling at a depth of only 14 foot, so we're right on the surface. In that case, we might have a quick look around. This is different again. Okay, that's not the right one. That's the command. It's the command station. I'm going to have to go to a different one. So this is, again, it's got different stuff. Photonic station is the one that I want. It's all different. Of course it's going to be different. So we're going to put the data there. We're going to raise the mast, and we're going to turn it on. Yeah, so we're actually on the surface. Here anyway. Oops, hang on. Right clicking is not your friend in this. So it's foggy outside. Yeah, so we're actually traveling on the surface at this stage. So that's our sub, which means what I can do is I can just go back out of here, press escape, click on this one here and just go and have a look. So that's us at the moment. God, it's a good looking game. It's sort of, it's really quite nice the way it sort of does work. So we're just traveling along in the fog, not really knowing what's going on here. I might just turn on the data. Now that is not a convoy ship. All right, that's dangerous. Neither is that. How many of these have we got? Hang on, we've got one. Is it just one ship? Two. It looks the same graphic. You might just... Oh, you know what's happened? I think I've gone through a hunter-killer situation. I think we're actually now up against a single frigate. Because this is not what we want to be dealing with. Well, let's just see how we go, I guess. So we better get underwater, I guess. So we'll just go down so we can start to sort of figure out what's going on. Yep, okay. So F1, come back in. Helmsman, oops, right click. Helmsman, take us down to periscope depth.
Make my depth 0, 5, 6, B, pilot I.
So we'll keep those there. We won't put the radar up. Let's see if we can spot on the sonar. That would have to be them. And that's just off to the side there. Our heading is 12, speed. So it's in front of us somewhere. I think we can see it here. If we use AIS data, so it's up ahead of us somewhere. I don't know how we can locate the ship if we can't actually identify it. Fire control station. Let's just get things ready. So we'll just go back to our torpedo tubes. So we've got Mark 48s. Are they there? It's different information. It's different, completely different ship. So it's got less info. I think what we might do, let's just go back out and see if we can actually do this again. We'll do an actual convoy one, so we'll exit the mission. Yeah, destroyer. That was a destroyer that we were up against. Alright, so we don't want that. So we'll go back into direct action again. I think what it was it was just a random mission of whatever. But let's go into convoy hunt. Small, shallow, medium. Let's just start this mission. I'll go close. Actually, no, I'll still go medium. That way we have to still find them. Right, so now we should be able to use the AIS data, I think. We'll just see what's actually happening with it. I'm going to get myself a drink of water, be right back. I've chosen that same sub with the less information on it, so we have to now relearn it all again. So this is the different one again that we just sort of saw there, where the fire control was a little bit all over the place. So if we just go back into fire control in here, time bearing plot, weapon control. Again, this is different again. Mission planner. It's completely different. I'm going to go back out again, which is good. It's good, but it's just, I don't know which one I need to be doing. So let's just go. Actually, one thing I should have a look at is what are we seeing here? That's got a, okay, that's actually got an escort. That's interesting. Yeah, so these convoys have escorts. Wow, okay. All right, we're going to have to be careful of that. Yeah, all right. So we've got two. That's even more difficult than the than being hunted down, isn't it? Well, I guess all we have to do is just get our get the target in and then sort of do it. God, it's a beautiful looking game, isn't it? It just looks fantastic. All right, and we're underwater here somewhere. Assuming that's us, you can just sort of make us out there. Again, I could go to night vision and sort of see it. What we're going to do, we're going to change the sub again. So I'm not sure which sub we're in. Exit mission. Give that one a go. So Mark's saying, yo, Daz, is Galaxy 4 still worth playing, or are there simply better options? It's a very good game, great game actually. I'm going to be playing that one fairly soon. There's a new DLC coming out for that one, which looks really, really cool. So yes, it's still very, very good. For me, it's sort of probably like after Distant Worlds, it's the one that I do like to play the most. Right, so this is, by the way, is other things. I should show this as well. So you've got the you've got things like, for example, realism. So you can go in and turn off realistic own ship sensors. I don't know what that is. Hang on, what does that do? Maybe I should have done some of these. Realistic op4 sensors. I'll leave. I think that this will then make it more arcade. Realistic weapons effectiveness. I'll keep that. I'll keep all them on at this stage. And then we actually have other things. We've got realistic pressure. This was recommended that we take this one off just to do these sorts of videos, because otherwise you are waiting a long time for things to be turned on. But if you do want the realism, it's actually all in there. The own ship damage resistance, so just realistic. Dynamic traffic population limit, I'm not sure what that is. AI competence, so I've just put experience there for all of them. So you've got all sorts of different stuff in through there. Op4 global surveillance networks on. Disable external view. So if you don't like the fact that you can actually see things, you can actually turn them off. So you disable them. Disable external views HUD. So this is actually gives you, like, you've got all those that information, like all the speeds and stuff. So you can turn that. You can actually have it on, but then turn that off, so you don't know where they actually are. and deck roll synchronization. Again, I'll just leave that there. But it's sort of, there's a lot you can do to set this up to your own sort of style. Again, I don't really have information about what all of these specifically do, but it is pretty cool the way it sort of does work. Actually, the master volume, I think that's, I hope it wasn't sort of too loud or anything, but anyway, let's just keep on going. Graphics again, just different bits and pieces in through there. It's a nice little game. Anyway, let's just go and press escape and go and set up another one of these. So let's go and try one of these convoy hunts, I guess. Shallow. We'll start with medium. No mission selected. Literal. I'll keep no civilian traffic. Time of day dawn. Weather good. I'll just keep it there. So we'll just start the mission here. Oh, I did it again. I didn't select the sub. So let me go back and try to... I'm not sure which sub we were on before. I keep on forgetting to pick the submarine. I'll go to the bottom one, which I guess is the most modern of them, of the Virginia class subs. Do it again. Right. By the way, there is aircraft. There's all sorts of stuff in this as well. So there's a lot of different things you can then go and do. So convoy hunt. This one here. We'll go to the 788. The Colorado. So we'll start with that one through there. Leave all those there. Let's just start the mission. I'm not sure how much of the oceans are sort of designated. Like, I don't know if you can actually sort of set things up. I'm guessing that there will be missions that people will be able to build as well. That's looking different again, doesn't it? Oh no, it's similar to where we were before. Let's have a look and see, where are we? Our depth is fairly low, so let's just now see what we've actually got. Press escape, have a quick look. So we're now fairly deep. 1, 2, yeah, so there's 4 ships here again. So we've got, so I think we have to destroy these and avoid these. Again, God, it's a good looking game. All right, so that's it. That's all we actually have that we're dealing with in this particular scenario. So we'll just go back into the ship. We need to somehow find these. So let's go back in and go to periscope depth, just so we can get the masts up. So we'll get this this officer to take us up. Just periscope depth.
Make my depth 0, 5, 6.
It's a very husky voice you've got there. Hopefully they sort of change that a little bit and not make it as robotic, and also do have sort of male and female voices, I guess would be good. So we now just need to wait for the depth to come back up. So we'll get up to a small number, and then we'll try to sort of figure out. And again, I'm not really sure how I can do this. We're going to probably need the fire control system. Yeah, this looks more like what we had there before. Mark 48s, they're all Mark 48s. Let's go and change these bottom ones to harpoons. How do we change that? Empty. So we'll just go and empty both of those. So they've now been, so we've got the Mark 48s up the top there. We've got harpoons ready in here. So we'll put harpoons into both of those. Now these are fast because of that realism setting that I've got turned off. I won't make them ready until we've actually got a mission, until we've actually sort of located where we're going, but at least we're now set up. Really nothing much else we can do there, so we'll just escape out of that one. That then remembers where we were. We can't sort of go to the next one above, I don't think. Okay. Oh yes, we can. That'd be cool. That's cool. So we can actually go and set things up. So we can actually then sort of have the various bits and pieces showing. And again, I don't know what all these things do. So this is all a bit unknown to me. just leave that one where that is, so we can actually sort of go from the two different screens. Again, it's a really, like, it's one of these games where like when I do eventually get used to it, it's going to be fun. Now we're going to try to make use of this data. We need to come up though. You can see that our depth is still too deep to be able to bring the masts up. And again, it's weird because there's no real one location that I can see in this game where all the masts are indicated, except maybe here. Antenna control. This is only the antennas that we actually have. Messages, yeah. So it really is only, again, just it's just got those two antennas. You can see there the angle of the ship now that we're rising up. Coming up to periscope depth. And we have to locate these ships. And again, the actual data here will show, oh, there we go. We've actually got we've got target information there at 168. But we don't know what, so and this is one of these things where if I zoom in, apparently, if you actually like know how to read these sorts of radars, you can start to pick exactly the engine that they're using as well. Like, it's actually really, really, really in depth with what it does do. What does that one do? Not sure what that one does. I think that even gives you a bit of a direction as to where they're travelling. Tracker. Targets. So I think it's just telling us that we can set these up. Should be that one there, I guess. So I'm not sure how that one then works, but we then do have the target location there. Now, does that show up? This is S1. If I now, and I don't know if I did this one before, but if I go back across to here, do we have S1 on here? No, we don't. So we're traveling south. Actually, it's only 4,000 yards. Maybe it's further away. No, it won't be any more than that. Okay, so I'm not sure how we then show the targets. And again, there's so many unknowns with this game for me. How are we going with our depth? Okay, we're 71 depth now. 70, 69. So we're getting close now to leveling out at periscope depth. One thing we can possibly pop out is the sonar array. So let's now just quickly go out to this other side, go to the mast sort of here. And again, just extend this one. This one may give us more information. So it's still extending. Again, I think that the time for these has been reduced because of that realism setting we turned off. So this thin line towed array, when that one does extend, will be good. So it's still extending. Just go back to the sonar array. This is the thin line one that we just see back in through there. I'm not sure what I'm looking at here. Again, if you know how radars and that work, then this will make sense to you. There's the 4 different targets though that we're seeing, I think. I'm guessing that these thick lines would ultimately be, I don't know if I can actually zoom in on those. but they seem to be, like S1 has now moved. Manual. Not sure which one's which. It seems to have now picked up that one there. Give me a second one. I'm not sure what's going on here. This one's still there. I'll just try that one on there and just sort of see how it goes. But these are the, again, if you knew what the sonars did, then this would all make perfect sense. But not to me. Alright, no idea. No idea what I'm doing there. So we'll just go back out. And again, I would have thought that with what we now know that we'd see it, but we don't. So let's try this this one here. We'll go across now to the data, and we'll raise this mast as well. See if we can read the information. There we go. That's interesting. They're behind us. So we've got 2 civilian ships. We'll track that one. Can we track both? Alright, so they're now moving off. Right, so we now actually have both ships with their data. So actually sort of located. So we've now got both of them actually identified as the enemies that we're looking for. That's not that very far away at all, actually. Let's just bring this. Actually, I'll keep that mast up. And let's now go back out again and raise the periscope. We should be able to see them, I think. So raise the mast. Now they should be around here somewhere. They were behind us, weren't they? Jesus. We're in the middle of them. We're right in the middle of them. Whoops. Where's their escorts? So we've got this other periscope. This thing is up as well. Now, how are they not, where's their other ships? They must be moving away from us here. Yeah, they're moving away. All right. Well, let's. I'm not sure which mast that is. Lower the periscope. Now that's okay. Well, and again, not sure what I'm doing here, but this is so they're right on top of us. Let's go and change the direction. So we travel due north. Course, set course. That'll do.
Set course 0. Pilot I.
Okay, go back and I guess plot a mission. Here, let's go and fire a torpedo if we can figure it out. So we need to make it ready. Is that right? Weapons ready. So we'll try this torpedo. It wasn't this one. It was this one here, I think. Yep. So ASM, mission type, ASM1, altitude, if we just go to new, and this is going to be attack mode, is going to ultimately be, actually it's got the, it's got that one there, let's just go and set that one up to there, and then move it in. Give that a go, I guess. All right. Actually, this is not. This is actually for the different sort of torpedoes. SM1. This is attack mode. I don't actually have the torpedo. That's different again. All right. Let's just see how we go. Yeah, we winged is W winged is then saying that they say there's going to be a manual released on release day. The game looks awesome. Yeah, so no, it is very, very. It looks great. Let's go that way. We're still now moving away from all of these. Flood the tube. Well, I'm going to have to make this one ready. Flood the tube. I do have to go to harpoons and assign mission, I'm guessing, because we are sort of right on the limit here. Open the door, arm, and fire. There it goes. God, it's a good looking game. Come on, get your target, get your target. There it is. There's your target. I think it's too, I think we're too close. There's the other ships. No, that's been wasted. Turn around. You can do it. Yep, it's gone. All right, well, it's one wasted. We're still very, very close, aren't we? So we've still got the periscope that's reading the data of what they're doing. So we're just sitting here, just minding our own business. Now, I don't know if that then means that the other ships will then sort of start to come after us. Can't locate them in the context of where we are. It's got a bit laggy actually. It's interesting. Let's just go back out again. Just press F1. It seems okay under here. Yeah, just this. I wish I could turn on the frames per second, because that was very, very laggy back outside there. So again, we'll try actually, no, it is a bit. It's not very responsive at the moment. How do we do this? Mark 48. Tube 1. Not sure how to do this one. Let's go back to the manual. Launch a, go to the fire control station, select weapons at the top right, select tubes, select a torpedo tube with a loaded torpedo. Click on make ready. I think we've done all that. Or did we not do that? Yeah, we did make ready. Weapon ready. Flood tube, I guess. Open the door. Flooded interlock. I'm not sure what that one does. Okay, on the top right panel, select the tube, okay, S1 and click on Assign Solution. On the top right selection panel, select the tube ready to fire and the solution. No idea. 48. Done the make ready. It says solution there, but where is the solution? Targets, S1. So we did actually have the target that we had selected. We've got a few different targets there. No idea. No idea what I'm doing. Yep. So wing design torpedo is your only choice if I can figure out how to use them. Is it this one? So we're going to go with the new mission. What does LAM do? Delete those missions. We'll just go new mission again. Yeah, no idea here. All right, go back again. Try to figure out what we're doing here. It says on the top right selection, select the tube ready to fire and the solution. What is the assign and click Assign Solution. Tubes. That's the target, okay. Assigned S1, right. So tube 1 has been assigned S1, okay, that's fine. Under the presets, change the torpedo presets if needed, and depending on the target, example surface, and click Update Presets. That'll do. Alright, go back to the tube screen, flood, open and arm. Now fire, okay, so flood the tube. Why can't we do that one? Can't do it. Flooded interlock, I'm not sure what that is. Our speed is low, so it shouldn't be that. I've got no idea. After launch, while the wire is still connected to the torpedo, you can return to the Mark IV screen and monitor the... Yeah, okay. Take direct control of the torpedo. Load a torpedo tube. Yep, okay. So we've done that. But we can't do the flood tube. So it assumes you have a fire control solution ready. don't know. I'm not sure what I'm doing here. Flooded interlock. Again, I've got no idea what that means. Maybe you need to dive a little to fire a torpedo, do a 200 foot or something. You think that might be it? All right, we'll give that a go. Yeah, it's weird. Again, the game doesn't hold your hand with this at all. I hope it does at some point. Just I hope it gives you information. It's so detailed, like the stuff that's going on here. Let's just go and get you to go to depth. Shall I go deep? I'll go to 120. Let's bring it down. There.
Make my depth 120 feet. Pilot I.
Try this again. So we've got the somehow this all makes sense to people who know what they're doing. No idea what these are. Try that again. Make ready, weapon ready, flood tube. I can't do it. Can't go any further. Oh, hang on. You know what it is? I bet you it's this. Now it's done. Right. Okay. Here we go. It was actually because I had the harpoon still actually set up. We'll arm it. No solution. Door open. Okay. Sign solution. Update presets. Enable torpedo. No idea. Again. Back to tubes. No solution. Oh god, this is confusing. It is like, I think once you get the hang of it, you'll understand it, but it's just really confusing. Assign solution. That's the control once you've fired it. Come on. Do I have to go all the way back to here again? Yeah, I'm really not sure what to do. Yeah, actually, Dmitros is in saying that you haven't created a solution. God, it's confusing. Where do I do that? It's not there. Targets. If I apply, it doesn't do anything. So it's none of those. Is it back here again? So if I assigned it there to S1. So it is assigned. Push apply. So we've got that one there. Back to the tubes. Make ready. Weapon ready. Flood the tubes. Flooding. Open the door. No solution. I am really unsure as to what's going on here. Yeah, I've got no idea at all. I've already been assigned S1. Got Tube 1 assigned. S1 is my target. I do have A1 and A2, but they're not assigned as targets. Yeah, so that Toby is then saying only just joined, but it does seem to not like the door being open. No, that should be okay. It's just saying no solution, so I can't actually arm it. Hang on, this tube. I had tube 1. I had the wrong tube selected. There, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Opening door. Yeah, now we got it. I had tube 2. I was assuming this was 1, but this is the again. This is the realism kicking in because it's now got to arm it, and let's fire it and see how we go. So this is actually tube 1, and I had tube. Just to put that into perspective, what I actually ended up having was tube 1. If I had to change that to tube 2, and I assumed it was on the left, and it's so that was me. All right, let's fire this thing and see how we go. Now I can go back, I think, to here, and sort of see the actual torpedo now leaving. So let's go and just watch it. I think it'll just do it. Let's go and watch the torpedo. The torpedo itself. There it goes. Not sure which one it's going to target, if it will target anything. Yeah, Pickback saying, isn't that tube 2? Yes, it was a user error yet again. Have we already gone past the other ships? Has it found a target? I'm not sure if I'm supposed to manually target this one in or not. I don't think we're going to sort of see anything with this. We're just here. There's the ships. There's the torpedo still going somewhere. Again, I'm not sure if we can, if I go back out, F1, just go back to fire control. Oh, it's heading, it's going after this one over here. I think that may be too far away for it. All right, that's going to take some time. So, okay, so Wing Design saying interesting, 35 knots when inactive. I think cold water Mark 48s go at 50 knots. It looks like it's trying to target this one here. I'm guessing S1 is one of the protection ships. Yeah, I did have it set to S1. I didn't actually have these set as targets. If I go back to assigning another target, I've only got S1, and that's the only one that I've sort of set up. And again, I'm not sure what I need to do there. If I go to tube 2, I don't have any other targets there just yet. So if I try to A1, let's see if we can actually figure out how to get that to work. I think I can set up in here, I think. But again, I'm not really sure what I'm doing. So do we have, that's just the trackers on S1. So we've got the sonar tracker. This is why it's actually targeting S1. Because we've still got this this one going back through here. But how do we get to A1? What else have we got up the top here? Another one of those. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure where A1 and the other ones come in. So the torpedo is still moving away to try to then target this one. A1, how do we make that a target? Not sure what that is. T-vector. Alright, in that case, it won't be that one. It won't be that either. I'll show you how we make these into targets. You're manually activated on that page. Which page, sorry? Gonna do it in here, fire control again. If I'm aware of the actual target itself. There's A1 there. A1 and A2. Here we go. A1 and A2. Let's try these. See if these then come in as actual as relevant targets. Now targets A1. There we are. All right. This is interesting. Again, I don't know what this means, but that's the that looks pretty good. A1 looks like he's sort of right in the right position for us. So we'll apply this into the description. I don't think we have to do anything else there. Tube 2, A1, there we go. Alright, so we're going to now assign the solution. Update presets. Now control, I don't think we have to do this. I think this will just do it itself anyway. But let's go for it now. Let's just go and fire again. So we just go back to tubes. Now open the door. Oh, hang on. Open the door again. Arm. And let's fire tube 2. So we've now got this one sort of, this one's running on wire. So it's going to be too far away though, I think. Let's go to tube 2. They'll cross over. All right, let's go and watch this one. Go back in. So we've fired the torpedo. There it goes. Doesn't tell us which one this one actually is. Acquiring target, I think. Or is it the first one? That should be A1 there. That'll be S1. Yeah, we've got two different torpedoes charging off. Maybe we'll go back to have a look at the actual torpedoes here. There we go. So it's now launching up to A1. It's extremely detailed. This will be too far away, I'm pretty sure. Just don't know which one, how we designate those in the view. It's definitely A1. But we don't know which torpedo this is. Well, heading 284, that's torpedo 1. That one's heading at due north. This is the one that we want to watch. So it's heading off towards that ship. So it's half the distance. I think we'll just watch A1, like when it gets close. Actually, we can look at it through the periscope, I guess. Actually, no, we're below periscope depth. We're deep. We've dived. Not so sure why these guys haven't come back, because we did fire a harpoon. Now, if this one works, we'll give it another go. Now, let's change direction. Not sure what it's doing. You can get in there and bring that torpedo home. TMA solutions, plot, tubes, CMS. So I'm not sure what these all relate to. CMs. Plot. Yeah, no idea. Anyway. So it looks like we're off target here. It may be still reacting to other things. Let's go back out and have another look. The torpedo should be coming this way. There is a message. This is fire control station manned and ready. Yep, that's okay. Okay, so we're just saying TMA is target motion analysis. Do you think that's what we should have had turned on? Because I think we've now passed this ship. I think the torpedo is missed somehow. Don't know. So does the game support large resolution? Yes, it does. I tend to do all my streaming at 1080p just because I think it's a bit more legible for when it's put across onto YouTube and Twitch. But yes, it does. It does have much higher resolution. Well, I think it's gone. I think we've missed that one. So I think I may have been supposed to bring that one in. Yep, that one's gone. This one's still on its way. Right. What should we do about that? So we've lost that one. Okay, so we can now put another Mark 48 in that one there. So it's now loaded. Make ready. Flood the tube. Again, I'm not sure what I'm doing here. Maybe we'll just go and have another quick read. So that's the harpoon. After launch and while the wire is still connected to the torpedo, you can return to the Mark 48 screen and monitor the weapon's progress. Change presets, update solutions, okay, or take direct control of the torpedo. So it should still auto do it. Yeah, Mark 48 is designed to be launched at any depth or speed of a host submarine. We just have to keep stop it from moving when we've got the wire connected though. All right, let's just try that one more time. So we'll open the door. No solution. So this is tube 2. I'm going to go against A1 with tube 2. Assign solution. It's been assigned. Hang on, S1. A1. Assign. Okay, so tube 2 has been assigned to A1. Now it's got an enable distance. Again, I don't know if this is something that we is it feet? No, it's yards. We've got 5,000 yards here. Transit speed, high. Search pattern. Wow, it's detailed, isn't it? So detailed. Set, yeah, active sonar, contact type, surface. Yep. Running depth 300. Let's make it 10. I don't know if it'll do it. Search depth of 50. There we go. We'll make that 50 as well. Update. Oh no, it's gone back to 300. All right, we'll update the presets. Didn't like that one. Let's just try 5,000. High. Snake. Active is fine. Update the presets. Alright, so assign the solution again. Back to tubes. Open the door. Oops, open the door properly. And fire again. Now it says if we go to mark 48, I can then see what I'm doing from here. So control. Now I don't know what if we've got active sonar. So do I have to do these? And then do I have to tell it to go into the search mode? It's now travelling a lot faster than what it was before. Let's put the estimated target range there. Okay, so JK is saying, my hope would be that the game would allow UK Special Forces to launch from US warship to sabotage civilian enemy infrastructure to create the Nord Stream 2 mission. Here we go, here we go. We're on target. We think we are anyway. Don't know if it's I keep on pressing active sonar. It's closing the gap now. So we've got still 2,000 yards to target. So when we get inside the 1,000, I think I'll actually then just do enter search mode. I don't know if that means that I have to then manually target it in myself. I don't know what these things are. It's gone off again. You're right clicking, it doesn't like to do that. Come on. How do we get it to go in? Attack, attack, attack. Enable active sonar. Oh, it's wildly off. I wonder what's going on here. I just really don't understand it. Why would it go so far off? It's gone. I'm pretty sure that didn't blow anything up. Oh, it did. I take that back. We got a kill. All right, so it just our data was incorrect on the screen. So it did actually, when it did do the active search, it actually did find it and blew it up. So yeah, it's one of these games where it's going to take a bit to learn how to play this, to be honest. I do love these sorts of games, and I do learn a lot from them. But yeah, that's gone. So that's awesome. All right, so we've done that one there. Let's now go out. We'll sort of wind this up now because we've got the. We can now sort of go back and see. So if I now just go and exit the mission. Now, we didn't do all of the objectives. It did fail, but if we now go to the review, we can now start to sort of see the different bits and pieces of what actually happened there. So I can sort of zoom right in. So they actually came right past me just while I was getting stuff ready. So they actually sort of had come back through. The bulk carriers went through. These were the destroyers were sort of back in behind. And they seem to sort of miss. I don't know what those unknowns are. We then lost sight of different things. Now, as we sort of get a bit closer, I don't know what S1 was. It's what we're sort of, I think what we're sort of seeing. There we go. That's the first torpedo. That torpedo did actually get close. You can see there before it went out. Next one. So we were actually looking at the wrong location. And then it did search. And then did hit. So it didn't actually tell us at the end there what actually happened, but it sort of, that's essentially what did actually go on there. I don't know if we can actually go in and see. It's a sensor data. Yeah, so this is our sensors were off. So this is true data and sensor data. So we've got our sensors, that's true data. So ours, like this one A2 was actually up here and we thought it was down here for some reason, just for our sensors. And that's because of the original initial stuff that we then ended up getting. So I'm not sure how in the game you then keep on top of your information. You've got to somehow just keep these sort of coming back through. So that's giving us all the different detail. And that's the targeting information. But it's a pretty damn good game. Like it's actually, there's a lot to like about it. In the summary in through there. So yeah. So anyway, so Wind is saying it's basically a set of procedures to identify a ship to know its capabilities, max speed, number of blades on a screw, and such. And again, the game itself, like the more you actually learn about monitoring and checking the sonars and stuff like that, like it was, like the devs actually showed. How to actually really analyze the actual sonar array, and it was sort of like one of those things I'm thinking, oh, that's well beyond what I understand. So, but it's got so much in this game. Like they've done such a good job of it. Anyway, it's just where it sort of is troublesome is literally because it's it expects you to, well, it sort of doesn't reward you. It does reward you for knowing what you're doing, and it when you don't know what you're doing, it sort of it ends up becoming quite hard. The database, I think, will be ready. I believe it's not really ready at the moment, but this is sort of like the information. I'm not sure which of those ships we were looking at there before. There's the Nimitz. Yes, we end up with. Various like specs on different things, photos, which are again in-game photos. So these are just modelled in game. Sensor returns, if they're there, will sort of show you what the sensors look like. I think this is supposed to be sort of like, you know, the actual green sensor array for eventually. Poseidon, photos, sense specifications. Yeah, a lot of these won't be in here at this stage. Yeah, there's the tankers. Just so you can identify ships. Presidential yachts. It's pretty cool the way it sort of does work again. And again, a lot of these things just aren't in this particular version. Okay, so these are some of the sorts of ships that you're likely to sort of come across. There are aeroplanes as well. Yep, so specifications back in through there. But yeah, like it's I just don't know what I'm doing, I guess. So Call of Cthulhu is saying, I only have one question, please. Are there any short keys in this game? I bought an Elgato XL just for this game. There are, to a degree, and it's sort of all I can tell you is, or show you, is this control guide. It's sort of what it does do is you've got the F keys take you to each station. It's not a lot that you can actually, not a lot that you need, to be honest. And I don't know what an Elgato XL is. No idea what that actually is. And JK saying, getting for sure as soon as it goes live. There we go. And saying, yeah, there must have been a question about when it's coming out. It's coming out on the 18th, so it's not too far away. So about a week's time. Don't know what the home and page up and those keys do. But each station, this is why I think like each station is more complex than just clicking on little things. It is geared up. It's going to be geared up for multiplayer, cooperative multiplayer with different people actually in different parts of the ship, which would be very, very cool. A bit like Carrier Command, I guess, which is an awesome game. So yeah, you've got the various sort of things. It's not like the commands themselves aren't that tricky. It's the processes. It's these things here. What did we not do? There's a Tomahawk, which we didn't get to have a look at. Oh, there's countermeasures. That's a CM. I wondered what that one was. What else have we got there? Operations. So this is where I couldn't get the mission updates because I didn't know what I was doing, but this one just steps you through what you need to do at each station. So each station has sort of got like its own little area. That's all it's in this particular manual at this stage. But it's acquiring targets is not really. It's got track radar contacts. So this is what I couldn't do either. I never got to this display. When the master's raised, the radar standby is shown on screen. Click transmit to start emitting. Okay, a few seconds later the display should display returns in the form of green squares, which I never got. Click on one to select it. The symbol is now framed. On the target select panel on the right you get basic information like range and bearing. Below that you've got track target. The contact is now being automatically tracked and being sent to the combat system. Okay, so we can acquire it that way through radar. This is which one's this one? Sonar. So we've got the towed sonar arrays. So we need to put them out. So again, you got the process. Put the sonar arrays out. Track the sonar contacts on the selectors next to one of the waterfall displays. Select any sonar array. It can be LAB, blah blah blah. Again, it doesn't tell you. It doesn't hold your hand and tell you that when you put out a the thin wire, you need to then go and select the bottom one there or that second bottom one. So it doesn't tell you that. But that's this is where I think the game for new players. I guess you'll learn it fast enough. Contact information box, right inside. Track visual contacts, go to the periscope station, F6, or command station. On top of the screen you have the two left, blah blah blah. Screen is divided into two. Raise mast, there we go, it's periscope. It's visual contacts, which is what we did have. And this is the one that we were using mainly for actually targeting those ships. So we did actually accidentally end up getting the S1 assigned to something. I don't know what we assigned it to. Who knows? So tracking the AIS contacts, tracking ESM contacts. So we've got a few different ways of tracking units there, and then radar. Yeah, so they're all the different ways for us to get targets, which again is complex, the way it sort of does work. Anyway, now we've got so Call of Cthulhu saying looks fantastic. So it's I wish I knew more about the game, and I wish I could present it better than what I do. Like I knew that this was going to be a muddled display, but I thought I'd still show it because it's sort of it is really, really interesting the way it does it. The realism is just next level, which is again I think is really, really good, even though it's difficult to actually show it because unless you do know a lot about it, you're actually in trouble. Like it's sort of, I think eventually you'd end up becoming a bit of an expert on how to actually go and do these things. It would then start to make intuitive sense, but for me it doesn't at this stage. But we got there. We sunk a couple of ships, which was good. So Vinyl Rabbit saying I've had this game on my wish list for a long time. Actually, one thing I can show is let's go back to the. I'll just finish this off and just sort of show you the like this is it. This is the actual page. So it's coming for me. It's the 19th of May that it releases, but 18th of May for most of the rest of the world. If we go, I'll show you this. This is in-game footage. So just go and certainly got much better. There we go. So it's launching missiles there. So I'm not getting the frame rates on my system that they're getting. Again, night vision. This is submarine warfare. That was radar. That's sonar. Oh, that's there is. If I just go back out, this is all of the periscopes and stuff coming up. This here is bouncing off the bottom of the this is again I don't really understand how this one works, but this one is actually when you're using your sonar, it's bouncing off the floor bottom and also coming off another zone, and so it's actually sort of looping through to then try to pick up the radar information this way. So you can actually go and again, if you understand what you're looking at, it's so detailed with what it does end up doing, and again. In this particular one, they've been able to identify all sorts of stuff which I can't do. So these are all of the various masts and things. And again, this is actually now looking at the like someone who knows what they're looking at will be able to like when the devs were showing the game off, they were showing like 4-stroke motors that got a certain sort of way of thumping through the water and stuff like that, just by analysing what they're seeing here. Which is really interesting. There's a missile. So we really just only scratched the surface. Even sort of sub-hunters from the air. We wish we had seen that. Very, very cool. So it's a great looking game. Anyway, that's the one that's coming. It's sort of, what does it talk about? So Commander Silent Service, Modern Naval Warfare. I feel that the name is misleading as well. Like I don't know if that will change, because it's going into early access, if they will allow you to then operate surface vessels. But it's sort of, it's the word naval, for me, actually makes you think that you can control all sorts of things, but it really is just the Virginia-class nuclear submarines. It says... The definitive tactical simulation puts you inside the pressure hull of a Virginia-class nuclear submarine. This uncompromising tactical simulation, it is uncompromising, offers unparalleled depth in graphics, physics, and authentic combat systems, which it really does. Like, that's where it's just phenomenal. It's this next level, but it's also, there is a barrier to entry with that, which was, as we saw in this video. It's complicated, you know, and I guess I probably should have tried to play a lot more of it before doing a video, but I'll probably come back to it once I really do get a handle on it, and sort of almost try to do like a tutorial of do this, then this, then this, because I don't really understand that process. Key features, yeah, it's just it's got all sorts of stuff in it. It's just a phenomenal game. Well, it's not even a game really. It is a simulation, a full-blown simulation. Here we go. So Von saying temperature variations affect water density, causing sonar to respond differently, and also the sea floor. And so the sea floor is modelled with all sorts of different different bases as well. So it's actually it does use it uses actual proper information about all that stuff. So it really is a full-on simulation. This is not a this doesn't hold your hand. But again, I think there's something to like about that. JK saying, I would imagine even AI would take over TMA these days. Yes, sorry, you mentioned that one before. Yeah, so saying even after 8 minutes, it gives you an idea of where the contact is, but never 100% accurate. Yeah, so I'm guessing that's where we just use the torpedo to do its own thing. I should have been looking at the ship for when it was getting close, just to see what actually happened. So the first one I didn't actually have it in a search pattern. It was just running straight. So the search pattern, I think, was good. Yeah, very, very cool game. Anyway, I'm going to get going, so I'm going to leave it there. And I'll catch you guys later. So there we go. So Von Rabbit saying Australia will soon have 3 Virginia-class submarines in the 2030s. Yeah, forget what they're doing with those now. Like, it keeps on changing the different agreements that have been done with that one. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there, guys, and hope you enjoyed that. I do apologise for fumbling around so much, but we got there in the end, at least with a couple of ships. Catch you guys later.